Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for September 1st and 2nd, 2018 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I understand the worth of my wholeness, my holiness. And what I really mean by that is the worth of working with your holy self. That doesn't just mean working from the space of the mind or just working from the space of the heart. It really is that interaction between body, mind, spirit, soul, heart, all working together to help move you forward. That being said, the mind may bring a bit of a challenge right now. We are finishing up the moon in Taurus today, September 1st. Welcome to September. And with this finishing up of this moon in Taurus, it's like, and September in general, I think is just setting us up again, like to take off running, where we have been taking it very easy. These earth energies have been really, really dense and heavy. So many people have been like, oh, I feel heavy, gravity feels like it's working harder on me at this time. I feel really slow as I go about these things, even though Mars is direct. Now, let's be fair. Mars is still just beginning to move and has some interactions to be made in this week that will definitely kick Mars in the pants a little bit. But with the moon shifting out of Taurus early on the 2nd and into Gemini, it is definitely kicking off some really interesting mental energies. So to finish up today, September 1st, I know I'm recording this kind of late, but things are moving slow right now. To finish up today, the moon is making one more connection to Mars. And what I would say with this is be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with any thoughts around what you're producing or not producing at this time. Be gentle with your inner yang energy. Realizing that it's summoning energy from this new place, this new balanced understanding. And I would say if you do take some action tonight after you see this, or anytime after, make that action be to connect to nature, to remind yourself of your own inner nature. Nature is one of the best places where we can get into that spirit of body, mind, spirit, soul, heart, because nature is really engaged in and through that. So it reminds us of that wholeness. After that, though, moon shifting into Gemini. The moon will shift into Gemini on September 2nd, 1 a.m.-ish. So that is definitely going to kick up some mental energy. With the moon shifting into Gemini, we have Mercury engaged. Mercury is one of the ruling energies of Virgo. So Mercury is already highly engaged with the sun in Virgo. We have that, and we also have a mutable T-square. And what I see when we get mutable T-squares, and mutable T-squares happening because the moon is in Gemini, when we have that happen, a lot of times we end up at a crossroads. And this is why getting into that wholeness is going to help. Moon in Gemini in T-square, so sun hanging out in Virgo, the energy that's in Pisces, Neptune energy in Pisces, all of these energies are going to be engaging. Neptune in Pisces brings the esoteric, the spiritual. Our soul and spirit really connects into that. The Virgo energy ideally connects to the physical body, but it can be more of a logical thing, and sometimes it really engages the brain. Gemini is so stimulated by everything. Gemini is like, here's the shiny thing, here's the shiny thing, let me take in all of the input. Again, our spirit and our mind and even our body to some extent is really affected by that. So we can end up in kind of a information overload whirlwind when we get into mutable energy T-squares or even grand squares with those. The thing with that is if we are centered and in our wholeness, knowing the worth of that wholeness, then one bit of information isn't going to necessarily take us down this long and winding rabbit hole. We really have to listen with our intuition, with our physical body, use the wisdom of our mind, and also filter it through the heart energy and really connect with the soul in order to know how to move when we get into these T-squares. It feels a lot of times like a crossroads, and like I'm not really sure which to go, and this sounds like a good option, this sounds like a good option. Coming into your center, coming into your wholeness is going to help. But just realize that the mind is definitely going to be flowing off the hook. Now, another thing that's happening on the mercurial mental level is that Mercury is coming out of its shadow. Hooray! But this is a big deal because it really is finishing off, closing off a lot of this work that we did with the eclipses. Mercury really went into this process along with the eclipses. So hopefully those final little downloads from the eclipses are coming through for you as Mercury finishes up this shadow process and finishes up in Leo. This week, Mercury will be moving into Virgo, which again will kick up more of the mental energies. But Mercury in Leo is reminding us of love consciousness, heart consciousness, compassion consciousness, all of those energies that go along with the heart. So even as you move forward in and through this mental terrain, please do not leave your heart behind, because that has been where so much of the work has been leading us to. So just realize that as well. Let me give you a few highlights for September. Mercury moving into Virgo this week on the 5th. Saturn going direct this week on the 6th. Venus will be moving into Scorpio. Of course, we'll have a new moon and a full moon. Mars going back into Aquarius after its retrograde process. That's when I think things are really going to be like, oh yeah, this is how we move forward. Mercury will be going into Libra. Sun will be moving into Libra. Chiron is retrograding back into Pisces, and Pluto is also going direct. So we definitely have a very interesting month ahead. I'm going to do something on my Patreon about this month ahead, either tonight or tomorrow. So you can come join me there as I do that. And to finish up, let's look at these cards. Completion. And I think this really does have to do with this Mercury cycle. Completion of these energies, these eclipse energies. And yet it's like, don't forget. Don't forget the wisdom of Leo. Don't forget the wisdom of the courage and the strength of the heart. Don't forget your playfulness. Hollow just put his paw, speaking of playfulness, on the keyboard. He's like, okay, done. Play with me now. Don't forget that, even as we complete these cycles. Take these lessons with you, or else you'll end up feeling that suppression, and there will be some volcanic energies going on. But there is a reminder in and through it. It's not to get caught up in illusions of what love means. You know, and I've been working with some people with this. Love does not necessarily mean, even if you love somebody, that you end up with them, or that they're right for you, or that their behavior is reflecting love to you. So it's like, you can love, but sometimes you need to love from a distance, and you really need to tune into your whole holy self in order to figure that out. So go wherever you go wholeheartedly, but also sometimes go in the direction that is right for you. All right, finishing up with Keepers of the Light, Freya, phases and cycles. A phase of your life may be coming to an end, but it's important to acknowledge it's not the end. When one door closes, another opens. You may have been desperate for change, but now that it's here, you could feel vulnerable. Know that the mighty goddess Freya will guide you. Illusions are now being revealed so that you can leave behind anything that is false. Step into your peaceful warrior-like energy and welcome the changes you deserve. Tie up all loose ends and take heart. This is an exciting time, and I can think of a few clients that feels like it's very specific for. So that being said, you can always book a reading with me. Email me for that. Half-hour readings, $55. I have upped the price of the yin reading now to $88. Thank you for everybody who reached out to me and getting back to you in my time to set up the reading under that previous price, the $66 price for the yin reading. And we'll see what comes forward, what new events and things come forward. But come join me on Patreon for September, and I'll see you tomorrow. The better it gets, the better it gets, and there is enough love in the world for you. Namaste.